Hi, friends. The great unsealing was more than disappointing. I was expecting just a little more juice, but honestly, I don't think it really added or took away from anything that we have already currently covered. I think the contract honestly has been the most interesting part of everything that's been released in the last few days. I didn't make any videos on it this weekend. The Claire Aobi stuff is interesting, but to me that just says that Claire went to Blake and gave that information over, like called her up and was like, "Hey girl, I got some scoop for you," you know? And that movie that she did, The Empire Waste with Wayfarer Studios, I've seen that. It's such a good movie. Honestly, I recommend everybody go watch it. It's a great movie about radical self-love. It's really about body acceptance, female empowerment, like from a teen, like a teen drama kind of film standpoint. So like there's a lot more of a message about like belonging and like invisibility that kind of happens throughout high school. So maybe if you're a little bit past that point in your life, it's still a great watch. And honestly, I like the way that it takes the angle of the radical self-love and how much it like really enforces that concept, because it's something that if you do struggle with body image, it's something that you have to almost adopt completely in order to get to the other side. So Empire Waste was a good movie. I didn't know she was the one that wrote it. I guess I've never really been into like directors or like all of that, or like I just knew it was a great movie and people within my field have watched it, and I was like, "Oh, great, let me check it out." And it was a great watch. So, I didn't know that she would have recorded something with Steve, but to me, the way that reads is more like maybe she didn't appreciate some of the things that, and this is my own opinion, my own speculation, maybe she didn't appreciate some of the things that were said, and she was hearing things through the grapevine about other projects that Justin Baldoni had worked on, maybe not necessarily her project, or within Wayfarer Studios, maybe she had heard things through the grapevine and she decided that doesn't sound like it's something I want to subscribe to or I want to be on board with, so I want him completely away from my project. And it makes sense that along the same timeline of like the premiere of It Ends With Us, if there was like some rift between a male director and female, like and they're saying like, "Oh yeah, that whole set was an HR nightmare," like things like that, I'm sure that this chick was like, "Get me away from it. Keep it all the way away from my movie," you know? The only other thing I thought was interesting was the makeup trailer interview. The fact that this line is even in there, I did not witness that, no. I think is kind of interesting. I wonder what she didn't witness. I wonder what the question is on the page before that. Yeah, guys, I was not on my phone. I was not on the internet. I was spending some good time with my family, but also like I had to get some shit done this weekend. And I am launching a new website with my my private practice, and it's all the edits I had to get in. Shout out to you know who you are, who's been helping me out. She is an amazing designer. Actually, I think she did give me permission to put it out there that Miss Snark is helping me redesign my private practice website. So she is such an amazing designer. She does such a great job. So I'm very excited about the website she's put together for us. As well as she is helping me put together a Nutrition 101 workbook that I'm just going to have for download. I don't know what that's going to look like or what the pricing's going to be, but it's something I'm really excited about. I've wanted to do for a long time. I just have never carved out the time to do it. You know, because what ends up happening, and this is what I explained to her, I was like, I just need somebody to do the graphic design of it, because I'll give you the information, but I can't just do all the swizzles and sticks and make it cool or make my vision come alive, because what ends up happening is as a RD professional, there's so many good resources that are out there, but they all have little things that I'd love to change about it that I wish I could make my own, if that makes sense. So whenever I'm in a session with clients, I hand them a workbook or something, or I hand them something and I'm like, yeah, but I want you to just keep this piece in mind with it. Like, and there's this this specific instance, there's this Nutrition 101 handout that I love to give to clients, but it's from it's one of the most generalized, like one of the best, breakdowns and simplistic breakdowns of like how nutrition works in your body, not from a diet lens, but there is little pieces in there, like little pieces of like 2000s gym bro diet culture where you're like, fuck, we need to take the diet culture literally out of everything. Why can't we just present information in a neutral way that isn't about you changing your body shape, weight, or size? Like, why can't we just understand how you metabolize a carbohydrate without without having to go like carbs are bad, you know? Because I have clients that'll come to me all the time that are like, hey, this is inherently what we learned. This is how we learned it growing up, even from like in school or wherever you guys learned it from, because that's the way that it was packaged. And I won't get too far into it. The way that the academy packages things is very much from which I understand why, but I practice from a whole different lens. So I wanted to create handouts that came from a non-diet perspective that I could provide to my own clients. But then I had this idea of like, okay, I guess there's people on the internets that are like in my following that also want some nutrition stuff. And I know I've had people in my comments before ask if I take on clients from a telehealth, and it's like, I do, but that seems like a weird boundary. Like, I don't know how to navigate this world online and also in real life and keep that boundary. Does that make sense? Because the way that I use my social media is very much from a fun little, like, this is me, like, let's have fun, like, this is who I am. I don't use it as this is, because I put on different hats. Like, I put on my professional hat, and this is which there's a ton of crossover. Like, we have fun in our sessions and whatever, but that's not all. Like, so I just don't want somebody to come into a nutrition session with me thinking we're just going to shoot the shit and just have fun the whole time, which we do. We'll have some fun, and we'll make it fun, and I'll present things in a fun, easy to chew manner, but it's not all that. Does that make sense? And it also makes me feel weird when I'm like talking about, I don't know, clothes that I enjoy or gossipy stuff. And I'm like, also, that's not, how I want my professional self to be viewed. Does that make sense? So I'm still navigating that boundary between the two, but I thought this would be a good happy medium between the both. Like, I'll give you guys access to a nutrition 101 that's just straight up, so that you can also learn, hey, this is how I can learn how nutrition actually works inside of my body from just a knowledge standpoint, without diet culture being shoved down my throat or thinking I have to change my weight, shape, or size. Does that make sense? Because everybody deserves to know how their body works and how nutrition works without thinking they have to fucking diet their whole lives,